taoni mwanya mwanya Kenya ngima o kiumia na consultation itu ni free. Araniria na Dr. Lea Mwangi umuthi kwitukira thimu 0726 04 1212. Kuma Kirinyaga, Kiri Biroiro, Kiajahi, Mutaburuko wa Nyandarua, Orerorera Kameme TV.
Netareki kenda mwali tiogeno wa itandatu naguo mwaka negirigire 2026 ni muroto na mwihoko akwa twithayo na ni ati wigutindia thayo wikurima gukumia na haria ukiri no kuhorera ukihoreire ugikire indo ciaku wetereire mohoro ndokana nigetha gutamburukiria maria matinda magikihanika muthenya wa umuthi no mbere nene twambe twamukire matemo ma maria tukuhaririirie.
The 50 million Kenya shillings awarded to me is an insult to my fundamental rights and freedoms and a mockery of the Constitution. We are not interested. Money was never the issue here. Justice and constitutional supremacy was.
Mutongoria wa kiama kia DCP Rigathi Gachagua kurega ciringi milioni 50 iria araheirwo ni igoti muthenya wa ira na gwatha mawakiri yake kuhanda cira igoti ni gucokia cira riko niguo gwetha kihoto. Fridi kung'ethanira na aikari ya gicagi kia Rikie na Nyuki kaunti-ini ya Laikipia aria makururunganaga makirigana waki wa ceceni ya Ebola makiuga ceceni no ni kuiga miturire ya ugwati-ini wa kunyitwo ni murimu uyu.
Kwaura maroko tuko hindi o kwaura maganyita makaiya na magacoka magathie na ng'ombe icio kana ni mburi igathinjwo akorwo ni nguku ikuagwo nginya na makonia igathio nacio na icio ikuagwo nginya muthenya na mutari murakoma.
Mavitha DCI kuma Mwea kaunti-ini ya Kirinyaga gwikia ngono mwikuro icio wa ng'ombe na kuhithukia ng'ombe igire irengetwo mitwe na gucoka gucikua na ngari muthemba wa Probox. Na gikundi gia gutetera ihoto cia muingi kia Amnesty International kwa thirikari ihinda ria thiku 7 korwo ihingitie kiraniro kia marihi kuri andu aria magurarire na aria makuire hindi ya mirurungano ya mbeu njithi mwaka wa 2024. Maciono mamwetu maria mari thiini wa kiondo giakwa kia mutamburuko kwa mohoro ni ndagutamburukia njitagwo Maina Kihumo. Mucera wa mbere ya mutaimeri mathanirwo Mwangi nake Maina newa kumoro kuria kaunti ya Itanga kuria kwa Nding'orici kaunti ya Murang'a. Andikira nyiki tunanyararie gwitwa agaki wa muthoni metha-ini wa thiri na njira ya ciiko ngiko wina woni kana ndumiriri ro yothe no uginyire kwitukira Facebook Kameme TV Kenya kuria kwa X ni @Kameme TV Kenya na thiini wa Facebook yakwa ni Maina Kihumo na tugakwaraniria ni kwendana no tigo gitua cira na kirigoro gitire kia hotana imwe kwa imwe turike mohoro-ini maito. Mutongoria wa kiama kia DCP Rigathi Gachagua nianireire gucokia cira riko thutha wa igoti nene gukindira kuhagurwo gwake ta munini wa president muthenya wa ira. Oho Gachagua nianyururitie itua ria igoti rikienda ariho ciringi milioni 50 ni kihoto giake kwagararwo cira-ini uyu, akiuga we kiria arenda ni kihoto giake gikorwo gigithingatwo no ti mbeca. Nene cira uria urakorirwo gigituithanio muthenya wa ira ni acirithania atatu a igoti nene na aria marakorirwo magikindira kuhagurwo kwa Rigathi wa Gachagua no indi maroiga ndakorirwo akinegererio kihoto giake ni Senate. Reke tuthikiririe riboti iyo na Mumbi wa Chege.
Earlier today, I held a consultative engagement with my legal team led by Senior Counsel Paul Kibuge Muite, and we have clearly analyzed the judgment and have instructed them to challenge this judgment at the Court of Appeal. For avoidance of doubt, I moved to the High Court to fight for my rights and those of Kenyans who participated in the 2022 general elections that have been violated. My prayer was to seek the quashing of an illegal process of impeachment. It is only after the determination of illegality, as has already happened, and setting aside of the impeachment, as should have happened, we were to consider asking for damages for constitutional violations. The 50 million Kenya shillings awarded to me is an insult to my fundamental rights and freedoms and a mockery of the Constitution. We are not interested. Money was never the issue here. Justice and constitutional supremacy was. I am one Kenyan leader who will not and cannot be swayed by promises of money to allow violation of the Constitution. I stand as a matter of principle to protect constitutional rights and defend the Constitution. This is an oath that I swore, and Kenyans know me for that. If I was interested in money, Mr. William Ruto had offered me 2 billion Kenya shillings in an effort to entice me avoid impeachment and choose resignation. But I stood for my rights and that of over 7 million Kenyans who voted for me. I rejected this offer and faced the National Assembly. This is in public domain.
Ni cira wa Rigathi wa Gachagua nao atongoria matiganite kuma mwena wa mung'ethaniro ni mamenereirie itua ria acirithania atatu igoti nene aria marakindiria kuhagurwo kwa uria wari munini wa president Rigathi wa Gachagua. Matogoretio ni mutongoria wa kiama kia PLP Martha Wangari Karua. Atongoria aya ni matetetie gitumi kia acirithania aya kuona mahiti hari mutaratara uyu na ithenya-ini ria kugarurania magatuarihwo na kimanjika kia milioni 50.
In this present case, and against this background, and having found that the rights of His Excellency Gachagua, were infringed.
Kwiragwo muingatwo na kihoto ndanyuragia no muthukirio njuguma gutiri hindi akaiganira na atagacoka gucaria kihoto giake na nikio thiomo na athiriti uria wari munini wa president Rigathi Gachagua mathiete na mbere gutetia itua riria rirakinyanirio ni acirithania atatu a igoti inene aria marakindirire kuhagurwo gwake.
Accordingly, while the infringement of fair trial rights is acknowledged and vindicated, it does not undo the impeachment itself.
Makiaria miene tiganite matongoretio ni mutongoria wa kiama gia PLP Martha Karua. Atongoria aya maratetia gitumi kia igoti kuona mathenya mutaratara-ini ucio na handu ha kugarurania maraukindira na kuga Gachagua heo mbeca.
For the court to say that the right for fair hearing for my brother, the second deputy president Gachagua, was violated, and at the same time to say that the impeachment stands.
Muhao ta uyu ni wiketio ni mubunge wa Manyata Gitonga Mukunji uria ugite igoti ni riraremirwo ni kugitira gatiba ya bururi iria yathanite no nginya mundu aheo kanya kega ga kuiguo
na magetekania na makova milioni 50 ate ya kumumvigiria methori na ninguyoria ni yoria andu wetu niki ati kungikorwa ithari onthe kwakorwo kwina injustice ndino yetu ya Kenya kindu kiria andu magendagira ni compensation.
The moment the court acknowledged that the right to fair hearing was violated by the Senate, it ought to have found the impeachment null and void.
Mukunji ni oritie mucirithania munene Koome kugitira wiathi wa igoti niguo ritigaterevwo ni thirikari, akiuga mwihoko wa Kenya na magoti gukuringana na matua maria cirithania marirekagiriria mateguthingererio ni mundu.
The Chief Justice ati umuthi uyu ara benefit nundu kwina andu mekarite giti kiu giake before ndagatutige kuria twarinde ya Moi, ndagatutige kuria twarinde ya Moi. Na ningenda kwira Honorable Rigathi Gachagua ati tuwe azembu chapter turungamite kidete.
Ona kuri uguo aria manyitaga thirikari mbaru moigite igoti ribatie gutio, makiuga Gachagua ndari na wiki tiga kunywa dawa na ciarura.
Totikaroe kana korumana tuture guku turumanaga Ngai niwe uwi no giakwa kia muico wikuregwo thi ona iguru wimburege.
Mwena-ini wake muhuraniri wa giturwa kia ugavana Kiambu na tigiti wa DCP John Mwaura oigite igoti niriretukanirie hari itua riayo na kwiranira ati no meguthi igoti-ini ria gucokia macira riko gwetha kihoto.
Ugituika Pointas Barato augire mundu uyu ndino na mahitia make na ni ndethamba moko megie mundu to ni ndino na mahitia mau ma mundu uyu witagwo Jesu. No riu ri kurigana na wendi wanyu ri ni ndeka atia andu ama muthitangite anene aria mamuthitangite kurigana na inyui aneneri aria mamuthitangite ri ni ndaiga mwikana kana mukwenda muthimu muohe ni ndakimwoha. Koguo Jesu Kristo ohirwo no ndari na mahitia ndageria gukompea kaundu kau ka hindi ucio wekirwo hindi iyo riu ntaguo wekwo.
She said that the 10th respondent
Oya, ni maoni matiganite matongoria magithie na mbere na kumenereria itua ria rirakurirwo ikinyanirio ni acirithania atatu a igoti nene. Tucokereria thiini wa Rigathi wa Gachagua akiaria na andiki ya mohoro kuria korirwo akinyururia na njira nene itua ria acirithania aya gukorwo makimwohorera kana magitua ohorerwo kimati gia ciringi milioni 50, akiuga we ti mbeca iramuvatie kiria arenda ni kihoto giake gikorwo githingatwo. Tunyitere Mumbi wa Chege uria utuharire riboti iyo.
Ona mathaa 24 matari marahinga thutha wa igoti nene gukindira kuhagurwo kwa Rigathi Gachagua ta munini wa president mwaka-ini wa 2024. Gachagua ndanaria marigu kuheana mawoni make agikinyiriria kihoto gitina kinyanirio akiheana mwerekera wa guthii igoti-ini ria gucokia cira riko.
Earlier today, I held a consultative engagement with my legal team led by Senior Counsel Paul Kibuge Muite, and we have clearly analyzed the judgment and have instructed them to challenge this judgment at the Court of Appeal. For avoidance of doubt, I moved to the High Court to fight for my rights and those of Kenyans who participated in the 2022 general elections.
Gachagua uria waritie na andiki a mohoro arigicirio ni athiriti yake augite itua riria majaji Eric Ogola, Anthony Murima na Frida Mugambi mararekereirie nirirareana na kurehe kihingisha kinene kuona marakindeire kuhagurwo gwake ona thengia wao kuheana itumi ciake gukorwo ahagurirwo mugaru na watho.
We strongly observe that the impeachment process was found faulty by the 3-judge bench for failure to respect my right to fair hearing in the violation of Article 25, 47 and 50 of the Constitution. Once that determination was made, the entire process collapsed and was null and void. There was no impeachment. There was a constitutional coup, an abuse to the people of independent Kenya. The 3-judge bench was obligated by operation of the law.
Mutongoria wa DCP no wagire kiene itua ria igoti kuga ariho ciringi milioni 50 kuona kihoto giake ni kiagaririrwo cira-ini wake akiuga kiria we athingataga ni kihoto.
The 50 million Kenya shillings awarded to me is an insult to my fundamental rights and freedoms and a mockery of the Constitution. We are not interested. Money was never the issue here. Justice and constitutional supremacy was. If I was interested in money, Mr. William Ruto had offered me 2 billion Kenya shillings in an effort to entice me avoid impeachment and choose resignation. But I stood for my rights and that of over 7 million Kenyans who voted for me.
Thutha wa kwambika icera gicigo-ini kia Western, Gachagua augite gucokeriria gikaro-ini giake kia wa munyoro gwa thiku 45 hatari gwika kambeini kana kuha muingi, akiranira ni ahariirie gugatia itua o riothe kuma mwena wa mung'ethaniro ria no ukarirukia bendera ya kuhitahitanira githurwo kia president, agikinyiriria agenda yake nene ni guthingiriria muingi ukainukia President William Ruto githurano-ini kinene gia 2027.
They have instructed me that having a single presidential candidate against President William Ruto is not negotiable and is the only way to liberate this country. And they have asked me to stick to that commitment. And I therefore want to assure the people of Kenya that regarding Gachagua, on instructions from his supporters, who are in millions, nearly 10 million people, who will lead from the front to identify a single presidential candidate to face President William Ruto. I made him president with my supporters. I and my supporters can make another Kenyan president.
Ngiribotera Kameme TV, ritwa riakwa ni Mubi wa Chege.
Oya, gatho cimunya Mubi wa Chege ni tondu wa rivoti ona ni rivoti iria tukwamba gukorwo tugeikiria nayo no ni gukorwo gicokereria kahinda gatari coho andu kavacie mitambo.
Nina furaha na shukrani kuwa ulizaliwa, kwamba upendo wako ni wangu, na maisha yetu wawili yamefumwa na kuunganishwa pamoja kama nyuzi za uteo. Na tuombea dua kwa Mwenyezi atupe afya na maisha marefu yenye furaha na baraka tele.
Ili kuset furaha kama sikiza tune yako, dial *811 *619#.
Kwenye Star Times, bei chini, burudani juu. Enjoy kids entertainment, the best football, Hollywood movies, gripping dramas, and so much more at fantastic prices. Buy the aerial decoder at only 1,399 shillings and the dish decoder at only 2,499 shillings. Say yes to unmissable entertainment. Recharge your monthly subscription today and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet for 1 full month. And enjoy Teen Titans, Ben 10, and Pokemon Hunters on Cartoon Network, Gangs of Manila on ST Novella, and Come Back to Me on Novella E+, TNA Wrestling and Blockbuster Hollywood movies on TNT. Download the Star Times On app to enjoy unlimited entertainment on the go. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Urimi niguo munyiginyigi wa gukura gwa bururi wa Kenya, ukinyita itemi rinene hari utonga waguo. Na korwo urimi wakinyanirio na kio hatari kurora riua, haha niho ciringi ikomete.
Murori wa Kameme TV, ino ni tafarira ya Kayo ka Murimi haria tuguthomithagia maingi megie urimi na uriithi na maundu matiganite. Ti mugunda waku na mahiu maku ni magukuhe gia kuria na gia kunywa na matigie kindu muhuko.
Kayo ka Murimi ni tafarira iri kugunaga we mwiroreri hari gukurehera njira itiganite cia urimi, urimi wa kimerera na urimi wa kiriu, hari uria ungithondeka utonga kuma tiri-ini o gicunji giothe kia mugunda kiria ungikorwo nakio.
Na twakinya guku kabutini check, kobokoboni check, atiri utagaja kana gitumi kingigiria gutaririe maingi megi urimi wa muthenya wa umuthi. Twarana nani.
Nyitanagira na Bataru wa Mwagiro muthenya wa gatatu thaa 1:30 nginyagia thaa 2 cia hwaini akirika gugutariria maingĩ megiĩ ũrĩmi na umithio wa ciringi yaguo. Na haha to kũrĩma tu nĩ kũrĩma gũkumia. Nĩ gũkũ gwa Kameme TV, mũthĩgi wa rũrĩrĩ.
Hihi wina kĩũria kana woni wĩgiĩ umemerekia wa Kameme TV? Twandĩkĩre woni waku kũhĩtũkĩra Facebook @Kameme TV Kenya, X @Kameme TV Kenya, na twandĩkĩre email kũhĩtũkĩra info@mediamax.co.ke. Kameme TV, mũthĩgi wa rũrĩrĩ.
Oya, gatho cia mwanya thengi muno makiria ngonyite ogeni oro ringi guku ni gwa Kameme TV ceceni nguthi na hurani ndoka ni tondu wa mohoro tugithie na mbere na ikereka ria keri na gatho cia mwanya ni nyumurathie na mbere na kunyitanira hamwe nanie. Mundu umwe ni arekuirwo gukua thutha wa kurathwo ni borithi gicagi-ini kia Rikie na Nyuki kaunti-ini ya Laikipia hĩndĩ ya mirurungano kana mururungano wa kuregana na waki wa ceceni ya Ebola kuma mathaini ma kiroko. Maabitha a borithi marokire kung'ethanira na arurungani aya makiuga mururungano ucio ndugwitikiritio na uma mugaru na watho.
Kurokire mutitimurano gatagati ka maabitha borithi na andu aria makururunganaga tauni-ini ya Nanyuki makiregana na waki wa ceceni ya Ebola kambi-ini ya mbiraru cia riera-ini iria iri mwena ucio. Mubango wa aikari aya uma wa kururungana kuma mwena wa Majengo nginyanagia kambi-ini ya mbiraru ya Laikipia kuria ceceni ya Ebola irakwo no undu uyu ndunakinyanira thutha wa kung'ethanirwo nao ni borithi.
Tulisikia Bwana Duale akisema that public participation is not needed. We as the community at large tunasema listen to our voices. We do not want that quarantine here in Nanyuki or anywhere in Kenya.
Hata kama urafiki na miaka mingi hatujakataa, hata ndoa inakuanga ya miaka mingi na inavunjika.
Hĩndĩ ya mũrũrũngano ũyũ gĩkundi kĩa arũrũngani arĩa megũkuĩte ithandũkũ na mũtharaba mehumbĩte matonyo ma rangi mwerũ nĩ mageririe kũingĩra kĩharo-inĩ kĩa Nanyuki, no mageria mao mathatio nĩ maabitha borithi arĩa mamaikĩirie rĩera rĩa kuruta maithori.
Kama wataleta hiyo kitu hapa alafu kukuwe na outbreak, we will be the first people to be affected. Whatever is not good for the people of USA is not good for the people of Laikipia.
So hapa hivi we are peaceful, however the police are dispersing us with tear gas. Leo ni mbaya, we have never seen, ni mbaya, lakini tutaikataa hadi mwisho.
Kuhana ũguo atongoria a mũrũrũngano ũyũ nĩ maikirio ngono gũkĩrĩkana megũtabanagia mũrũrũngano ũyũ mũgarũ na watho gũkũ biacara nyingĩ ikĩhingwo kumana na gĩthagathago gĩkĩ.
We will fight for our rights. Hakuna mtu atarusha mawe. We will fight for our rights. And we are very peaceful. But the police are trying to block us.
Mũrũrũngano ũyũ ũkĩte thutha wa magana ma aikari kwĩyumĩria tarĩki 1 mweri ũyũ kuregana na waki wa ceceni ĩno na ũrĩa wacũngĩrĩirie ikuũ cia andũ erĩ na angĩ magĩtigwo makĩhonia nguraro cia rithathi. Waki wa ceceni ĩno ũkoretwo ũgĩtũngio ũregani mũnene nginyanagia kuma kũrĩ atongoria kaunti ĩno arĩa manyitaga thirikari mbaru makiuga wona waki wayo wakinyanĩra ũgũkorwo arĩ ũgwati mũnene kũrĩ andũ arĩa maikaraga kambi-inĩ ĩno o hamwe na aikari a Nanyuki.
Maneno ya kuset up a quarantine center in Laikipia hatukubaliani na haya.
Tukuhoya this time riu oni uhoro muru murimu urerwo ni wa kunina kuhata wituika ati ni wa rehe guku gwitu ni kugo nawe ukiri handu wina kasoro.
Tell us, Americans say American first. Their dollar they say American first. Why is it that Kenyans we can't be patriot and Kenyan become fast?
Kiumia kĩhĩtũku minista wa ũgima wa mwĩrĩ Adan Duale nĩ erire bunge atĩ waki ũyũ no gũthiĩ na mbere ona thengia wa ũregani ũyũ akiuga thirikari ndĩgũkira na no mũhaka ĩtigĩrĩre ya Kenya nĩ magitĩrwo kũhĩtũkĩra waki wa ceceni 23 cia Ebola guothe bũrũri-inĩ.
We are not going to consult citizens. This epidemic does not require any consultation and we will not stop it.
Handũ-inĩ ha Kameme TV njĩtagwo Gathoni Wang'ang'a.
Okay. Oya, tugithie na mbere na kumurika rivoti orotae one ati thirikari ni rathondeka ceceni 23 cia kurigita na kuiga keheri-ini arwaru a murimo wa Ebola mayario mehaririria makung'ethanira na murimo uyu ugikinya goko bururi-ini thutha wa mabũrũri ma DRC Congo no Uganda gukorwo makiandikithia arwaru a murimo uyu wa Ebola. Ndumiriri ino iheanitwo ni munini wa President Professor Kithure Kindiki uria ningi ugite thirikari ni gacirithĩtie ũthũrimi wa andũ arĩa maraingĩra gũkũ bũrũri-inĩ mĩhaka-inĩ oro ũndũmwe na kĩharo-inĩ kĩa ndege kĩa JKIA. Kindiki ugite ona gũtuĩka ithimi cia andũ arĩa marekũagĩrwo gũkorwo na mũrimũ ũyũ itionanĩtie dalili oro yothe, thirikari ndĩgwĩkĩrĩra mũhũthia harĩ kũgitĩra Akenya.
If you come to a designated point,
I want to also assure members of the public that we are taking measures for infection prevention control. We are also taking measures to provide the necessary operational and logistical support so that in the unlikely event of an occurrence of an incident, then that can be taken care of early, because what the Ministry of Health has advised us is that Ebola, risky and dangerous as it is, if it is detected early, treated early, isolated in terms of the patient getting out of the rest of the members of the public, there are very high chances that those patients will survive. We have set up places for isolation and treatment, 23 of them, and we don't want the politicization and the sensationalism that some of the members of the society are bringing into this very straightforward public health issue. So these isolation centers, the minister has assured me he will be visiting some of them so that we can look at our preparedness generally. And we do not want to politicize an epidemic. We have very many other things we can politicize.
Oya, tugithi na mbere ni ati kuri no hotekeku munene wa ati itua ria igoti gukindira kuhagurwo kwa Rigathi wa Gachagua rirakinyanirio riri akana riri na ndama ya uteti wa 2027 thiini wario. Atharamwe maundu ma kiuteti moigite ati koya gukorwo ni njama irahuthirwo ni President William Ruto niguo gukorwo akiagagia Gachagua na uguo kuiga mung'ethaniro utekuhota gutua itua ria no kang'ethanira nake ireve-ini muthia kugayukania mung'ethaniro. Ona Gachagua ona kuri oro uguo aroneka gukorwo acanukite ndama ino amureu ni anireire ati agwikore wothe angihota gukorwo akinyitithania mung'ethaniro na gikaga gucagurwo kururira giturwa kia president ni akanyita baru uria ugacagurwo. Kimani wa Ngojiri no na rivoti ino na njira ndaya.
Final orders. Itua ria igoti rinene gukindira kuhagurwo kwa Rigathi wa Gachagua riu ritigite neme cigithiura miario-ini ya ni ati uteti ugucoka wikare na ciuria cia kana itua riri no rikorwo rirari na muthako wa uteti muhithe thiini wario.
Conduct of the impeachment.
Mutaramu wa maundu ma kiuteti Njenga Warago augite ati gukorwo ati Gachagua ndanagarũrirwo kuhagurwo gwake ona thengia wa cirithania kuga ati kihoto giake ni kiagararirwo ni kuonania ati ni kurari na njama ya gutigirira Gachagua aguthio na mbere na macira na njama ĩno muoroto wayo ni gutukania mwena wa mung'ethaniro.
Niĩ ndirona ta hena hena gũkungĩrio ũgĩ atĩ Gachagua ahingũrĩrwo kĩndũ gĩtagwo raini ciothe cia appeal nigetha akorwo no nginyagia gũgũthio appeal. Gwathio appeal na githe watho tukiugite Gachagua so long as gute appeal ciothe itithirite no arugame. Riu koguo ri united opposition ri igukorwo itekumenya no tondu ni mekurigwo kana meherie Gachagua kana mamuigie oro hau.
William Ruto knows Rigathi Gachagua is the man to send him home. And those around him are terrified of my candidature.
Woni uyu umanite na gukorwo ati ni gukoretwo na mutukanio wa meciria ma kana Gachagua ari muhagure na agithiaga na mbere na macira igoti-ini kana no ahetukio ni IEBC gukahuranira giturwa kia president na muno angikorwo ni akaheo tigiti ni mwena wa mung'ethaniro na mung'ethaniro no wikore kiagago-ini gia kumuhe tigiti na hihi thutha ucio igoti tugiru rikindire kuhagurwo gwake thiku nini mbere ya githurano kinene gikitwo.
I will be vindicated by the Court of Appeal, hopefully, once again, with a further protection at the Supreme Court still in my hand.
Na no guthii uguo gutuike appeal ciathie tondu appeal ire kiriho ne ya Court of Appeal ithie ningine kiheanwo mwisho wa mwaka uyu. Haya, alafu magithie Supreme Court, makinya Supreme Court ri o mbere ya githurano gitane katiri gutuike impeachment ni upholdwo. Riu opposition ndi gukorwo ikimenya kana Gachagua kadariho.
No Gachagua aronekana ta angikorwo ni anacanukite ndameno irathakwo ni thirikari. Mundumiriri-ini yake thutha wa itua, Gachagua augite ati agwikoria wothe angihota gutigirira ati gutire na mugayukano mwena wa mung'ethaniro.
I will do whatever it takes with my colleagues to make sure there is no division within the opposition, to make sure that everybody moves along.
United opposition imenye game wino irathakwo na mamenye uria mekweherera tondu ungikorwo uwi thu yaku no korwo uwi ngundi iria yake njuru ikoragwo ya mwena wa mutho riu we uguikara mwena wo rio.
Gitumi kimwe kiria kiheanitwo ni ataramu kia niki thirikari ingikorwo ikirongoreria kunina hinya wa mung'ethaniro kugerera kuri Gachagua ni kiria kirerikana ati ari na uhoti munene wa gucokaniria ithabu rinene ria aikia kura.
I have the capacity and the muscle, I have the infrastructure and the presidential experience, I have the necessary networks and great mobilization capacity, numbers behind me, and a very good strategy for the presidential campaign.
Gachagua ni agirirwo ni kumenya we niwe urahuthirwo na impeachment ino ni thirikari ino gukorwo hakigia ati hatire no theri.
Na riu uteti uyu ugitiga kiuria gia kana mung'ethaniro ni ukuhota gwithema mutego wa thirikari na njira huthu iria yendekithitio ni njega ni korwo Gachagua no etikire kuheana mweke kuri mundu ungi oroga tene nake akorwo akimunyita mbaru.
I made him president with my supporters. I and my supporters can make another Kenyan president.
Gachagua ndakahuthike ta mundu karugama githurano, no ahuthike ta mundu ukuhota kwira andu ake mutikeherere andu aya tondu muoroto witu ni uyu ni umwe mundu mutongoria wa bururi uyu uria wiho riu ndagacoke.
Handũ-inĩ ha Kameme TV rĩtwa rĩakwa nĩ Kimani Wangũnjiri.
Riboti ya Kimani Wangũnjiri tũkwamba gũthomora rĩngĩ oro hanini no ndũgetikĩre gũthiĩ kũraya no njĩre kũhĩtũkĩra Facebook Kameme TV Kenya, kũrĩa kwa X nĩ @Kameme TV Kenya kana thĩinĩ wa Facebook yakwa Maina Kĩhumo na ngwĩraga kwa mwaria gũkĩũra kwa mũkĩrĩ kworire tene reke tũkĩaranĩrie nĩ amu kire ngoro gĩtihotanaga tuikirie tuke ndukabacire tabo.
True understanding requires more than a headline. The People Daily app delivers our trusted in-depth journalism directly to you. Get comprehensive reporting, insightful political analyses and special features optimized for your life on the go. Get the stories that deserve your attention wherever you are. The People Daily app. News that moves with you.
Do you know what's inside that prepackaged food? Those unhealthy ultra-processed foods high in sugar, salt or unhealthy fats can lead to diseases.
According to the Ministry of Health, approximately 39% of all deaths in Kenya are as a result of non-communicable diseases such as obesity, diabetes, cancer and high blood pressure. The foods and drinks we consume every day can affect our health more than we realize.
Clear information on packages about what's in our food can help us have a healthy diet. From the Food Policy Coalition Kenya.
We ukoretwo githuburo ne mwili. Dr. Lea Mwangi wa Healing Path Herbal Clinic ari na kihonia giaku. Uthondekagwo mathina ta enlarged prostate, gastritis, ulcers, arthritis, H. pylori, infertility, fibroids, diabetes, blood pressure na mirimu ingi mingi. Tutumagira njira habo gugucokereria ugima waku wa mwiri. Ni turi na dawa ta Nimax gucokereria hinya wa uciari na Super Pure Detox kuri aria marenda gutiga njohi na thigara. Iga cleanse mwiri kumana na chemicals na cholesterol. Sherera honge citu Nairobi haria Afya Business Plaza kwina Koja Stage na kwa mwena wa Thika turi Equity Plaza second floor room 206 kwina stage ya Matara. Toiguraga daily kuma Monday nginya Kiumia. Ningi no tusheraga mataoni mwanya mwanya Kenya ngima o Kiumia na consultation itu ni free. Araniria na Dr. Lea Mwangi umuthi kwitukira thimu 0726 04 1212.
Oya, gatho cia mwanya ngonyita ugeni oro ringi na nigetha tukorwo tugigitirithania thiini wa mutabruko wa mohoro. Gikundi gia gutetera ihoto cia muingi kia Amnesty International nikiheanite thiku 7 kuri thirikari ikorwo ihingitie kiraniro kia marihi kuri aria makorirwo makigurara na aria makuire hindi ya mirurungano ya mbeu njithi ya mwaka wa 2024. Gikundi giki karutete mukana wa gutabania mirurungano ihinda-ini ria thiku 7 ciukite angikorwo thirikari ndigikorwo yonanitie wendi wa kuhingia kiraniro kiria yeranire. Wambui wa Njuguna na rivoti ino makiria.
Ihinda-ini ria thiku 7 ciukite ni gutanyitwo gutabanio mururungano wa thayu ni gikundi gia gutetera ihoto cia muingi kia Amnesty aria maugite matanya manene ni kuhinyiriria thirikari kuhingia kiraniro kiria yeranire.
And I went round with him long before looking for the bodies in the mortuaries.
Kuringana na utongoria wa gikundi giki ni ati ona thengia wa President Ruto kwiranira ati andu aria maguraririo na angi magikua hindi ya mururungano wa mwaka wa 2024 ni mekwamukira marihi. Undu ucio nduri urakinyanirio.
Nilishutiwa 24th of June last year and nikalazwa Kenyatta for 2 months. It was so painful and still painful still now. This hand can't work.
Where is the compensation? Where is the justice? Where is the urgency you promised grieving families and traumatized survivors? How do you look into the eye of mothers who buried their children after police bullets cut their lives short, then remain silent?
Mataririe gutire ndumiriri o yothe thirikari irekereirie igie marihi macio kuria mataririe ati kuona thirikari niyo yendeire gukinyaniria marihi macio itegutindikiririo gwitikira kuhanyukia mihang'o iyo niguo kuhura njeki aria magurarire.
I'm a victim of being arrested because of protests. I've been arrested 2 times now. Taken to the cells, sleeping down on the floor, very cold, with lots of mosquitoes.
So that it is not enough to end this at the point of compensation, but the buck has to stop somewhere. We have to have responsibility of all those who are behind these atrocities.
Ihinda-ini riu maheanite thiku 7 thirikari ikorwo ikinyanirie marihi macio na ohwecabithie ndumiriri ya kuonania ni amamukira marihi. Kwaga uguo matabanie mururungano kwambiriria tariki 16 nginyagia tariki 25 mweri uyu wa 6.
Leadership is about accountability. If word means anything, then fulfill the promise you made to the victims and survivors of state violence immediately. No more excuses, no more delays, no more empty statements.
How do you ask Kenyans to trust your government when victims of torture, abductions, disappearances, and police brutality are still waiting for compensation while billions continue to disappear through corruption and reckless government expenditure?
Oho matindikiririe thirikari gukinyaniria kihoto kuri a Kenya aria ihoto ciao ciagararirwo hindi ya mururungano ucio. Ngiribotera Kameme TV Getwo Wambui wa Njuguna.
Oya, na kungene ati ndereti hio ne koriwe gituthuka bunge-ini ya bururi egie mathire ma bururi maria marathie na mbere na kwiyumba na ningi gukorwo ati thirikari ikoretwo gikomba mbeca no ikagukorwo igiciikira thiini wa record-ini ya mathire. Ndereti ro tuthukire riria mubunge wa Kiharu Ndindi Nyoro atariirie ati riu bururi ukoretwo gikomba ciringi tirilioni 1.2 ukirigithania na wathani-ini wa Uhuru wa Kenyatta riria bururi wa kombaga ciringi bilioni 700. No mutongoria wa aria aingi bunge-ini ya bururi Kimani Ichung'wa ni athukanirie na Ndindi iguru rigie kana Ndindi ni ari na uigiriki agiohithanio naguo wa mathire ma bururi muno ni gukorwo ni atungatite etare ta muikarigite wa kamite ya budget hindi ya miaka ya hau kabere.
From 2013 all the way to 2022, Kenya was borrowing an average of 700 billion Kenya shillings every year. Now we are borrowing 1.2, and especially out of this year, Honorable Speaker. And I ask this government, do you want to break the record of borrowing?
My brother Ndindi Nyoro was our chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee for 2 years. Therefore, if this government has borrowed for 3 years, 2 out of the 3 years, it is my brother Ndindi Nyoro who presided over that borrowing.
Even as Kenya is borrowing over 1.2 trillion every year now, and 4 billion Kenya shillings every single day, any development they can see and touch is actually not out of this borrowing.
Ndindi Nyoro, unless you are telling us, as member for Kiharu, that the 2 budget or 3 budget cycles that presided over, you presided over either because you are not intelligent then and you have suddenly become intelligent, or you presided over illegalities, knowing there were illegalities.
When I served Kenya as the chairman of budget, there was no single illegal borrowing. The illegal borrowing called securitization started in the year 2025, and that is on record.
He has just said another untruth, that there was no securitization before when he was chair of Budget and Appropriations Committee. He knows that is not true.
There was no single issue of illegal debt of the book loan prior to last year mid. It's called securitization. There was no single one when I served Kenya as the chairman of budget.
I would challenge the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro to show us in this Public Debt Committee's report where the issue of securitization is in their report.
And that is why external lenders of stature, like IMF, like the World Bank, they are no longer lending money to Kenya, Honorable Speaker, because they can see the kind of carelessness at which you are borrowing. And especially the fact that now the people in the executive pretend to be clever to borrow money on the book and off the book, Honorable Speaker.
Wewe ni mnoma, big up.
Gatatu tariki 10 na kana tariki 11 June, kambuni ya Pwani Oil na Kameme Kayoka Mwige nitugacera matura-ini ma Murang'a, Kigumo na Maragwa kunyitanira na arimi aria maigaga ng'ombe ciaria. Nitugoka gukuonia njira njega ya gukama ukihuthira maguta ma Sawa Milk Jelly maria makoragwo mari soft na matigagira ati ng'ombe yaku nirakameka na njira njega o ati ndehithaga iria. Oho Pwani Oil ni makureheire supplement ta Ama Energy, supplement iria iteithagiriria ng'ombe yaku ikagia na hinya wa mwiri na koguo ikongerera production.